Hello there friends, it's CS News Live. In today's video, Valve officially banned SnapTap and Jump Throw. Danger Zone might be coming back really soon. G2 might get slapped with a fine. Plus a bunch of other spicy updates from the CS2 scene. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. And I think we should kick off today's episode with a bit of nostalgia. On this day, on the August 21st, 12 years ago, CSGO was released. A game we all played and loved. The foundation of what we have now and something many would still be playing today. Thank you CSGO for our childhood, our youth and all the memories. We miss you dearly. Happy birthday. And by the way, to celebrate, Valve released a new music kit today. Don't forget to congratulate CSGO in the comments below. Since we're talking about CSGO, it's worth mentioning one of the most talented players of his time, Sergej, the older brother of imp. He was once a key player for BANS, but after being benched, he decided to do his military service to avoid future complications. Ever since he returned, fans have been wondering if Sergej would come back to Pro CS or if his playing days are over. And you know what? Recently he's been spotted grinding on Faceit again. People close to him say that he is following the pro scene, he attended the last major and he watches almost every mouse game. While he hasn't officially confirmed his return to pro play yet, we are all hoping that it's only a matter of time. Next up, suddenly Dota 2 pros are backing the CS scene. Heroic's Dota 2 player, yeah, Heroic has a Dota 2 squad, Davai Lama showed his support for JL in the recent situation with fans. If you missed it, in our last video we covered how JL chose to fist bump instead of shaking hands with some fans, which didn't sit well with them. So Davai Lama said that fist bumps should become the new standard and handshakes should gradually be phased out. He also emphasized that maintaining hygiene to protect yourself and others is key. I mean, yeah, after the COVID era, he's right. And on this topic, I fully stand with JL and Davai Lama. While some players are sharing ideas how to improve esports, others are revealing some interesting stories about broken promises. Many of you probably remember that before winning the major, Apex promised to shave his head if Vitality took the victory. But in the end, it was just a lie. He just tricked the fans just for the hype. Well, and it turns out that Navi's S1mple pulled the same move. Recently, S1mple's girlfriend shared that before winning he promised to shave his head, but then he claimed he'd only do that after winning the second major. So, just like Apex, S1mple didn't keep his word, yet somehow everyone seems to have forgotten about it. And now finally, my friends, let's get to the most interesting part of the recent update. Valve officially banned SnapTaps. This feature, which Valve developed with Razer for nearly a year, got banned by Valve themselves. The update states that automating actions using software, bins or scripts is now prohibited, and players suspected of using such functions will be kicked from matches. To make this work, bins with multiple actions like jump throw, run throw and zero bins are now banned. Yes, you heard it right. Valve also advised people with SnapTap-enabled keyboards to disable the feature to avoid getting kicked by VAC. So basically, you just can't jump throw with console anymore without risking a ban, but it still can be configured in the game settings. Some insiders suggest that Valve might compensate those who bought keyboards just for SnapTap, but honestly that seems kinda unlikely and unrealistic. Obviously, pro players quickly voiced their frustration, but not about SnapTaps. Most of them, they just don't care about it. But what they do care about is jump throw, and people are not sure how to play without it. The biggest concern is that Blast Fall groups start today and the major qualifiers are just days away. Twists hopes that this is just temporary and that jump throws will be back soon. S1mple, on the other hand, believes Valve just killed one of CS2's core mechanics by banning the jump throw. While Fallen was happy with the update, saying that now you don't need to spend loads of money to be competitive and that things are more balanced. Should someone tell him that SnapTap could be still enabled via the console? Yet with a risk. Olofmeister was also satisfied, having asked for a jump throw ban as far as back as 2015. Interestingly, SnapTap still works on Faceit, but Blast became the first tournament operator to ban it. The most fitting comment comes from Device. Valve Impossible Challenge. Move one step forward without going 3 steps back. And as you might have guessed, all of this led to numerous bugs that came with the update. Maui Snake shared that he got kicked from the game just for strafing too much. Robs also mentioned similar issues with false kicks, describing the same problem. And there was another problem that surfaced, the invisibility bug that existed in CSGO. More on players' frustrations, a well-known CIS insider Overdrive suggested banning Boost as well, arguing that they also provide certain advantages. Cooper also chimed in with some criticism, saying that if Valve banned SnapTaps, they might as well ban high refresh rate monitors, since they also give a competitive advantage. Meanwhile, Malbs jokingly suggested that the developers should add auto-aim and that he'd be ready to play CS with a gamepad. Aside from the false kick issues, many players have started complaining about how Valve can detect SnapTap with their anti-cheat but still can't catch cheaters who've been running around for 12 years without getting banned. But it seems like there's more to the story. In this patch, dataminers discovered lines of code that are related to VAC 3.0, wherever that means. And it looks like it's already being rolled out. There are tons of clips surfacing of cheaters getting banned mid-game. This is a promising sign, to be honest. If Valve can truly deliver a top-tier anti-cheat, it would be a game-changing breakthrough. It could significantly reduce the number of cheaters in the game. If they implement an anti-cheat system similar to Riot's, we might see many players either returning to the game or picking it up for the first time. While Valve is making changes to the game, teams are making roster moves. Boros has left into the breach, or should I say he was just kicked. Many players claim that this was just due to his lack of discipline and utterly bad behavior. He himself said that he's just happy with the kick. But honestly guys, in Boros's whole time of Into the Breach, he's only played like 16 matches and recently he overslept a game. It's super unprofessional. Anyways, in his place came Red Star. He's a promising young dude, but he's also a controversial player who has been suspected of match fixing in the past. But it's not for us to judge that decision. Innocent until proven guilty and all that. The real question is, how long will the new lineup last? You can drop your suggestions of Smooya's team in the comments below. This guy is just cursed. HLTV's editor Striker has shared some roster rumors. According to him, there's talk that Astralis is looking to sign HooXi. Honestly, I have no idea who they could replace in this case. I mean, Device is still a good captain, I think and I hope. So maybe anyone else? It overall feels like Astralis is already playing with a solid lineup and HooXi doesn't seem to fit in. But what if the Dane is actually being considered as a coach? That would be nice. We also discussed this possibility in one of our previous videos, so if you haven't watched it, just go check it out. One of the biggest stories about roster moves and comebacks revolves around S1mple. According to the man himself, he launched his online courses, his CS2 school, to help buy out his contract from Navi and become a free agent. S1mple explained that esports is becoming more like traditional sports, where orgs lock players into strict contracts. Top players like S1mple, even if they're up for sale, come with a massive price tag that most teams simply can't afford. This situation isn't really new, because when Ykinder was transferred into Liquid, he had to buy out his own part of contract to make it affordable for the team. Because of this, talented players might often find themselves stuck in captivity on the bench, waiting for either a buyout or their contract to end. Given S1mple's legacy and his achievements and his skill, I think that his buyout is insanely high. Even the richest orgs can't justify the price. Falcons were rumored to be interested, but after his less than stellar performance during his time with them, one match worth $1 million, they decided not to pursue the idea. No one can tell the current buyout price of S1mple, but it looks like his contract will end at the end of 2025. However, it seems that Na'Vi are afraid to let him go because he could make any other team much more stronger than themselves, supposedly. And supposedly that's why they had an intention to put such a price tag on the contract. You know, because Na'Vi had this situation with m0NESY, who went to G2 for just $600,000 and then became a star and one of the best players in the world. Though it's still unclear when S1mple might fully buy himself out, or even partially enough to join another team. But it's clear he's eager to continue his career and win more trophies. Are you looking forward to S1mple's return? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Continuing with the top teams, we can't skip G2, who might soon be facing a hefty fine. But let's clarify, this is related to their Valorant roster. Yes, you heard it right, Valorant. So basically, during one of their matches in an eco round, all the players decided to jump off the map to avoid giving the enemy any money. And so people got mad about it, because it's like unsportsmanship and all that. And you know what? S1mple has already commented on this, calling it a stupid move because even in an eco round he can still take away weapons. At first, S1mple didn't understand what the fine would even be for, but then he realized that it's usually these kinds of silly mistakes that get punished. It's interesting to know what the CS2 roster at G2 thinks about this, but they haven't commented yet. And since we're talking about S1mple, here's an interesting fact for you. If you type GOAT in the HLTV search bar, it brings up Alexander's profile. Maui Snake shared this little trick on his Twitter. On one hand, it's a cool feature, but on the other, it feels a bit outdated since S1mple hasn't been performing at his peak form for a while, not even talking about playing CS2 at all. Despite all his achievements, there are now few other players who could also be considered GOATs in CS2. And now in the end of the video, let's wrap it up with some nostalgia again. Dataminers have discovered lines of code in the game files confirming that Danger Zone will indeed be in CS2. It's likely to drop around September 1st on CS2's anniversary. Previously though, Valve stated that they wouldn't bring the mode back in the new version, like because it was unpopular in CSGO. But now, with all these lines of code, we're hopeful that the Battle Royale will return in CS2, possibly with new maps. Would you like to see Danger Zone in CS2? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And that's all from me today, my friends. Don't forget to follow the channel, hit the like button and leave a comment. And don't forget to follow our Twitter or X account as well. I'm not saying goodbye for a long time. See you soon.